Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Knowledgeable Nurse. I am back with the amazing Ruth. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had her on the channel a few months back, and we were talking about travel nursing and becoming an MP. But guess what, y'all? Girl is working as an MP now, okay? And she has information for us, okay? You better do it. I know that's right. She
Uh,
has information for us today. Ruth, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with
you're
me.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having
much.
me back. Seriously.
Girl, please. Why would I not have you back? You doing it out here, honey. You
Oh,
doing it
thank
out
you.
here.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely had fun the first time. So
Yes.
I'm happy to be back. If people remember me, it's
Oh,
been.
they do, honey. Yes, they do. Because I
Uh,
have a question, so we're gonna go right into it. Because I received a question from Miss Allison Murphy. Miss Allison, thank you so much for even watching my channel. And I brought Ruth on specifically for you so I can get the questions answered that you asked. Okay. So the question that Miss Allison had, she wants to know, how did you prepare for your exam?
so the program that I went to, so it was both primary care and acute care. So I don't know which one Allison is doing or which exam she's going to take.
She just put CPNP-AC
Okay,
exam.
so CPNP is your certified pediatric nurse practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two exams that you could take with that. So you have your acute care and then you have your primary care.
Mm-hmm.
You can do one track, you could do it like primary care by itself, or you could do acute care by itself, or you could do both. So the program that I did was the dual program. So I sat
Okay.
for two exams, and they're actually two separate exams that I sat for.
Hmm.
So yeah, so when I took my exam, so the primary care exam, that one was like I could apply for it and take that exam whenever I please. But for
Mm-hmm.
the acute care, that exam actually got compromised, so I only had short windows to take that exam.
Oh.
So Allison, I don't know if you are taking both, but if you are, people always say take your primary care exam before your acute care because when you take the acute care exam, some of that primary care stuff is on it anyway. So I had
Got
a
it.
short window to take my exam. So I studied for primary care for 3 for acute care for like maybe 2.5 weeks. But so I think so. My school, I was pretty confident that they prepared me well enough. So I wasn't really like I tried to go through content, but I was like, man, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
So I really focused on the topics that I'm like, all right, I need to like focus on cardiology or for like the primary care. I'm like, okay, let me focus on milestones. So I kind of focused on the topics that I wasn't super confident in, and then so you can only take the exam through one certifying board, which is PNCB, so the
Mm-hmm.
Pediatric National Certifying Board, and you could take both of your exams through it. And for the primary care, you can buy two practice tests, and then for the acute care, you can buy two practice tests. They're each $50. I bought them both, and then I just went through the test, and you can take them as many times as you want to. So I think I took each test maybe twice.
Okay.
And then for the care book, the acute care board, um, study. So the Lippincott Certification Review, Pediatric Acute Care Nurse Practitioner. And then for my primary care, I don't know if I still have the book here, but I can always tell you, Nadej, the book
Mm-hmm.
that I used to study. So our school gave it to us for free. Ain't nothing never free because it's part of your tuition.
Exactly.
It was free. But
Exactly.
it was nice. And what I like about this book and what I used to study for primary care, everything is condensed, it's to the point, and you don't want to over study as well.
I
Um,
agree.
so I did use flashcards to study for like certain topics. And I'm like, all right, I need to drill this into my head. I need to memorize. And I would have a pile, I would have two piles. I'm like, okay, boom. If I did the practice question or if I did the flashcard, I'm like, boom, I know it. I would put it over to this pile. If I really didn't know it, then I would put it over to the other pile. And then I would constantly go through that pile I didn't know until it stuck. I sat every day in like a Starbucks or I can't even sit in Starbucks anymore. I can't sit in Panera Bread anymore because
Oh,
I, I have PTSD of studying. So I would study for like 6 hours a day, and I was still working time. So just pretty much through content that you're not pretty confident in, and just take those practice exams, because the PNCB practice questions are similar to the actual exam. Each exam is 105 questions, um, and you get like maybe a minute per question.
wow.
I think I took the primary care, so I finished them both in time. I think I took more time with my primary care than acute, because I've always worked in acute care. I did pediatric ICU, so the
Mhm.
for acute care was more like comfortable, whereas the primary care like straight memorization. So like you need to know your rashes, you need to know your milestones, you need to know what antibiotic to pick.
Mm.
Whereas the acute care exam, it was you have blah 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 scenario. What would you do next?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
very two different exams, but compared to the like not, I don't know if you remember when you took your
Girl,
NCLEX.
please. How long ago was that?
Like if mine was what 7 years ago. PT, I don't remember being. I think I read every question, and I'm like, am I reading? Like I don't think I knew. Like at least exams, like boom, I felt confident. Either I knew the answer,
I
didn't know
didn't.
the answer,
Yes.
and I left like after the exam, I left feeling like, all right, if I failed it, then like confident that I passed it. If I
Yes.
failed, I'd actually be very surprised. It's not like the NCLEX where everyone walks out and they're
It's
like
over. It's done.
yeah,
I
I
remember
failed it.
boohoo crying after the NCLEX and saying, you know what? I'll just have to, I'm going to take a break from studying and I'll
Yeah,
just take it again when I'm due. Like I boohoo cried. And the
yeah.
one thing I would say I like, because I took the FNP exam with ANCC. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing that I liked is that they let you know immediately. You don't go home. You find out right then and there. So you
Mm-hmm.
submit the test. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was like 200 questions. Now I'm forgetting. And I took this in 2018. I should remember
Mm-hmm.
it.
See,
But
that's nice. You found out right away.
we found out right away. They were like, "Are you sure you want to submit your exam?" Yes. They were like, "Okay." And then they asked me a question after. I think they asked about like demographics or
Uh-huh.
something. And
Mm-hmm.
then I clicked next, and they were like, "Okay, you passed." I was like, "You know what?
Wait, so
This
you found it on the screen or they printed out the paper for
I
you?
found out on my screen,
Oh my god. See,
and then
that's
I got an email an hour later.
see, that's how it was for my primary care. So like the last question, I found out right away. Acute care, since that exam was nice, girl, I ain't find out for another 6 weeks.
That makes sense that because it was compromised, it took
It
so
was
long.
compromised.
It
They
doesn't
don't
take
want people to
compromise.
like brain dump. They don't want people to remember the questions and try to like sell the questions that they
That's
remembered.
crazy that people would do that. Listen, we
Yeah.
all trying to get we all trying to get certified. Why would you
Mm-hmm. Yep.
anyway? Anyway. And did you
Yep.
use any like prep courses or you just stuck to the books that you had?
I stuck to the books that I had, and then I do remember the book for primary care. It's called Barclays Associates,
I heard of them. I heard of them.
and they actually do. It's a lady who actually does an annual review. So it was a book, and it came with CDs, and the CD
Mm,
was the audio to the ladies like like this like dead, like it's um like an exam overview. So then
mm.
the lady went through topic, and she's like, "Right, these are that you need to attention to." She called it pigs.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, like, all right, guys, this is another pink pig, and girl just be away. I'm like, pink, my book, please.
Hey, that's how you remembered it. So the other question I have for you is how you've been a MP for now how many months now?
Almost 4 months.
So how has your experience been since you have transitioned to this MP position compared to the RN position?
So it's a journey. Like um so it's not as nerve wracking as I thought it would have, because you know how when you became a nurse, it was like, I don't know, you everything was on your shoulders, but like every decision, uh, like bad word that happened, you would kind of put it on you.
Yes.
And this role, I'm not as nervous because I work under attending, so I'm alone.
Mm.
Maybe that's the I'm like, and then also know I'm like, have a little grace, have a little mercy on yourself because I'm still learning. Um, so before I this NP position, I was off. I was off for like 3.5 months. I was waiting
Mm-hmm.
for my licenses. I was waiting for my NP license, my CS license. That's like Jersey license, and
Mm.
your DEA license. And then you need your DEA so you
Such
I
a pride.
schedule. I had a lot of time to mentally prepare, but then when I started the job, since I was the first NP, I didn't really have like a super structured orientation. It was kind of right, start and we'll teach you along the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then it was also new for the attendings because they never trained a nurse practitioner before. So
Wow.
kind of like, okay, like I would give them feedback on how I would want to learn. They gave me feedback on how, like they give me feedback on how to like learn certain topics. So I'm under attending, and everyone, it was nice. Everyone pretty much listened to me on I needed help if I had any certain question. And the actual director of the children's hospital, he would sit me down and, all right, so how's the orientation?
Oh,
Is there
that's nice.
anything, right? And he was like, is there anything we could be doing better? So although it's a role, but everyone actually cares about the position, and everyone is doing what they can to make my role, the best for me and also the best for them because I'm
Mm-hmm.
part of their team and making their roles a little better and a lot, I guess, like not easier for them, but they want to make the most use of the role. So the
Yes.
thing that I found um the hardest, so this position is Monday through Friday. I was used to working 3 days a week. I would cluster
Yeah.
on my days. I would be off for 6 days. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, you off on
Weekend.
Sunday.
Oh wow, that's a big adjustment for us, especially because we've
Mm-hmm.
been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Wow, 3 day shit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that Monday through Friday it's long. So granted, I work 7 to 3. By the time I
Mm-hmm.
get home, I still have a lot of the day. But then I had a hard time just coming home and laying and relaxing. Like, oh my God, I need to know this. I need to know this. I need to this diagnosis. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn and know. So then I have to have great self and say, I can't learn everything all at once. I would topic for the week, or what I would do, I would be at work, and if I had certain questions, I would write things down, and then I would
Mm-hmm.
go home and I would try to find answers to those questions that I had, or I would talk to my attendings. They would help, they would, if I had a question, they would answer that question for me. And then if they gave me like a good like tidbit at work or a good fact, I have a notes on my and girl,
Mm-hmm.
I write these things down because I'm a type of person, like if you're giving me information once, I want to be able to, like, I'm not afraid to ask questions, but I don't want to continuously ask the same question when you told me the question once.
Yes.
So I'll always like write things down in notes, and I'll always go to it. I'll do it. And as that list longer, I'm always like going, through those notes and trying to make those stick, like certain orders that we would put. Sometimes it's like the same orders that we're always putting in. So I was always like, give myself reminders. So yeah, so like I said, so that Monday through Friday and like trying to come home and trying to find that balance. So as
Mm-hmm.
the weeks went on, I learned that balance. Like some days I need to come home, I need to cook, I need to find time to work out.
Yeah.
then the weekends would come, and I'm like, I'm tired. And I can't hang out with nobody.
Yeah, yeah. Your self-care time. Those are important still.
Right, but then I realized I'm like, I can't not see people. So so I learned to balance, and then I got in a rut where I would plan everything on the weekends because everyone else is off on the weekends too, and then I
Yeah.
not having me time. So I balance things where I don't overbook my weekends, or if I can meet people during the during the week. I mean, not that I'm really going anywhere. We're in a pandemic,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Exactly.
if I am like meeting up with my like cousins or my parents, I'm
Mhm.
just balancing it so I still have me time on the, because the thing with the Monday through Friday, like it's hard to find me time. So it's
Mhm.
definitely beneficial, find that time to relax, and also find that time to actually like come and and study, because you go to work, you need to like have to be prepared. Best advice I would say for those who are new nurse practitioners, like, have grace with yourself. You're
Yeah.
still in that learning period. You're not going to have answers to everything. If someone comes up to me and they're like, "Okay, Ruth, blah 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 is going on with the patient. What do you want me to do?" I'm not going to have the answer right away. So I'm like, "Okay, I would take their concern, and I'm like, let me go talk to the attending, and then I'll let you know what the plan's going to be." So
Mhm.
definitely have lots of grace for yourself, and then have goals for yourself. In these next 2 weeks, I want to study this topic. In these next blah 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 weeks, I want to study this topic. So
Mhm.
it's definitely going. I'm 4 months in, and I think it's going to be a journey of learning.
Mhm.
I think years, honestly, of learning.
Yeah, I would say that too. Because I remember as an RN, like it took me a year to be comfortable as an RN. So I can only
Mm-hmm.
imagine how much time it's going to take when I start practicing as an MP, how much time that's going to take for me to feel comfortable in my position.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, and another thing I was going to say,
Hmm.
when I was in NP school, you know how like you're always like, am I these books? Like, am I going to spend $200 to $300? And girl, I'll be honest, I didn't buy the books in NP school.
Hmm.
I
Hey.
would points to the best of my ability. And if something didn't make sense, like I would buy some books. I wouldn't buy all the books, but something didn't make sense, then I would go in and I would read those things. But now that you're an NP, buy those books in your specialty.
Mm. Oh, that's good advice. That's good
Hmm.
advice.
Buy those expensive books in your specialty, because those are going to be the resources that you go back to. Um, and you learn. Like, I sit down and I'm like reading through topics, and it helps. It actually helps to truly not just know the diagnosis and the treatment plans, but like understand them and
Mm.
understand why you're doing it. Don't just do it because you know that's what the guidelines say, but really understand why, because you're patients and they're like, why are you doing this to me? And they're like, why are you giving this to me? But then online I read you can take this
Mm.
or blah blah blah. And you need, like, people,
Yeah.
your patient families to confirm. So it's to be knowledgeable.
Ruth, I want to say thank you again for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit. I'm pretty sure I'm going to ask you to come back. Just so I can see how you're doing when you hit your year mark. So, Ruth, again, thank you so much for coming on. I really
Anytime,
appreciate it.
anytime.
Thank you. And also, I have an announcement while Ruth is here. So, again, I don't know, for those who don't know, who haven't been following me, I am also an NP, but I have not been practicing. But I have submitted some resumes, so hopefully soon I can say, "Hey, I'm a practicing
Yes.
NP." We shall see. I'll keep y'all updated on it. I'll probably have that on my Instagram.
Yes.
But Ruth, can you please tell us again your Instagram name, and I'll make sure I put it in the description box also.
Okay, so my Instagram name is the dot traveling dot. You guys can add me, follow me. I will be back. If you have any questions, I'm open to answer that you guys have.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Welcome, girl.
And thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll be back soon with another episode of Knowledgeable Nurse. Thank you so much. You guys be great and take care.
Take care, guys.